Hello and welcome to another video. This is Maruna's manga channel and today we are going to do some more storyboarding for my manga. If you have no idea what I'm talking about but you're interested, please watch my previous videos and join me on my manga making journey. Okay, so like my previous video, let's start with a quick scene breakdown. The things that need to happen on the pages that I'm storyboarding today are: number 1, Stella getting home after her encounter with Harper. Number 2, Stella having another hard day at work. Number 3, on the way home, Stella encounters the monster. And number 4, as she is in peril, Harper comes to her rescue. I'm trying to leave the scene breakdown more short and sweet this time, just so I won't repeat everything I say now later. I am going to try and talk and draw at the same time today, so let's move on to the computer. Okay, so page 1. This is gonna be just after Stella when she runs away from the crazy girl with the sword. So I would like to start off with an establishing shot of Stella's apartment. She probably lives in just, those box apartments near the city. I don't quite know what that's gonna look like yet, but we'll work on that once we do more backgrounds. So it'll just be generic looking box apartments for now, because this is just a rough. Not even a rough, it's a storyboard. Something like that. And then I would like probably a insert of her door, like she just opened it and came into her apartment. Then I would like, because we haven't seen Stella yet, of her just coming into the door and she slumps against it, looking tired but also just panicked because she just ran all the way home. She also has her bag. I would probably add dialogue in here, something like, "Oh my god, what was that?" And she probably, says to herself that she needs to call the police. But I also want to add, which is something that I need to add onto the previous pages during the edit time, that she drops her phone when she was panic running away. So I'll probably make this into 2 panels here. So one of her being, I need to call the police. So she's looking into her bag, that's her hand. This will just probably be in monologue, like thought bubbles, but then she realizes that her phone is not here. And she's like, oh no. Sorry, this is an awful drawing. It's really hard to draw and talk at the same time, but hopefully I will get used to it. And a big panel of her slumping into her bed. I'll make this one a bit wider so you can sort of see her room, just to give her a bit more like personality, I think. I imagine it to be a mess. Like, she's so stressed out and busy all the time that she has no time to really clean. If I can, I just want to sort of try and show her unstable mental health, her stressed out state, by showing how messy her room is. And she'll probably be like, "Oh, I'm so tired, goodbye world," or something like that. Yeah, so that's page 1. Okay, so moving on to page 2. Because she was so tired from the day before, honestly, probably just tired because of her job, not even from the panic that she had from running away with a person with a sword last night. I want to sort of do this a bit more abrupt. Maybe the boxes is probably not the correct way. I want to like I did in the previous video, the boxes that show the time passing, and she's getting her name called by her boss, who would be in the foreground here like this. And Stella, like, it's almost like she was so sleepy that she was a bit dazed about waking up again to go to work, and then she's back at work. It's almost like she just woke up because her boss was talking to her. And her boss, which I'm not gonna even show his face here because it's not important, but it almost shows us how like disconnected Stella has become. But he's angry. It's a bit hard to show that he's angry without showing his eyes actually. So the line would be something like, have you still not finished that document that I asked you to do? Or something. Basically he's yelling at her because she just didn't do something right. Or he's actually just yelling at her because he is being unreasonable and she has way too much on her plate. Just, yeah, this is the whole thing. Her work is quite exploitative and she just works too much. So this is an over the shoulder of her boss looking down at Stella. And Stella is, I'm sorry, I didn't have enough time, or I'll do that right away, or something like that. This is supposed to be a down shot just to show that he is in power here and she is feeling small. And then another panel of him saying something mean. I haven't quite thought of what each dialogue is going to be yet, but it's funny how this part where she's actually getting in trouble with work feels more stressful than her getting attacked by a monster because that's all fantasy. Whereas getting in trouble at work is just too real. I don't want to show his face. He's probably saying something like, well, you better hurry up or something like that. Yeah, so that's page 2. Page 3, just want to show that this has made Stella quite upset. Actually, the boss man's gonna be a bit mean here, and how about something like, so Stella is looking sad, even though she stayed till so late last night, she still wasn't feeling like she wasn't good enough, and her boss is just walking away, probably saying something really mean. As in, it's a bit unrealistic for like anyone to say this out loud, but you know, it's a manga and we have to show that she's stressed, so he probably says something like, oh, you're so worthless, or like he says that as he walks away. Close up on Stella's eyes. She's very upset. Does that look like she's upset? So a nice big close up there of her eyes. A couple more of those little boxes again to show her now walking home by herself. Again, late at night. She's probably holding her bag really closely to her. You know how when you're really upset, you just want to sort of like scrunch up. In this shot, I do want to, when we do backgrounds, which we'll be finding a lot of photo references for, I'll try and, it'll be one of those cuts, it'll be one of those panels that would probably show the world more properly, so I can't do it right now, but it'll be proper buildings. Okay, so that's page 3. Okay, so page 4. This is the page where she is about to encounter her monster again, but I want to try and sort of show her mental state because she's feeling really stressed. And what primarily brings this monster to her is when she like suppresses her stress. The more she tries to cut it off from her, the monster appears. So I'll probably do a close-up. Because we were in a wider shot before of her face. Probably a front on, that she's sad well, the background. I mean, the background won't move because this is not animation. Sorry, that's a habit of putting an arrow in. This is her holding her bag again. There'll probably be thought bubbles of her feeling quite, you know, sad. Probably the next panel would be of her being more like, no, don't stress. Things are all fine. She's trying to convince herself that things are okay. I'm not saying that's a bad thing to do, but you know, it just depends on the situation, I guess. So her doing that almost is the trigger for the monster to come out. Okay, so we know, as in I know and you know, that this monster is coming from Stella because that's the plot. Technically, when you're reading this manga for the first time, you won't know that, and it's supposed to be a bit of a reveal that the monster is coming from her. So this panel is supposed to be a bit mysterious. So this is her. It's just a a profile shot. This like shadow thing is almost coming out of her, and she turns. So she turns. I want to bring the big monster reveal to the next page. So what should I put here? Maybe it'll just be a third of the same kind of panel. But this is her about to be in shock. Maybe the dialogue can be running from the top panel being like, everything's fine, it's fine, but then at the end it'll be like, it's not fine. That's page, what, 4? Not too sure if I'm entirely happy with this one, just because it seems like it's only panels of Stella, but I'm gonna move on for now. Page 5, it's easy. It's gonna be a one whole big panel of Stella standing in front of the monster. This monster is like almost pretty much the main character. I mean, it's the main antagonist of the story, so I think it's fine for it to have like a big reveal. I really hope that once we go into the cleanup drawing part of this manga making process, I'm going to have the art skills to be able to draw this monster properly, because it has to look quite scary. But for now, it'll be Stella. Wait, she would have turned this way, so I guess her bag is on that side. So the monster, it's going to look like a big, dark, shadowy... I mean, it's supposed to be a wolf, but it doesn't have to look like a proper wolf here, because it's more gonna be like a monster shrouded in shadow. Black tendrils coming out. I don't know how to do animals, gosh. I swear I will practice. I'll practice how to draw animals, because quite a few animals are in fact going to come out in this story, because the monsters are all animals. So this is just going to be a rough, but I swear I'll practice, or just have proper references to do this properly. Eyes. That makes it a bit more scary. And some buildings with a nice upshot. I mean, technically this will be a 4-point perspective, I guess. That is page 5. Page 6. Obviously, it'll be a reaction shot from Stella, whom the previous night when she saw Harper, she had it in her to scream and run away. But I think if she sees something so unbelievable like a monster, she would probably more freeze, because she can't believe what she's seeing. There would probably be dialogue, maybe a down shot. There'll be probably monologue of her thinking things like, what? Like, I don't know, I think she would have just gone blank, actually. I want to do something, so like the monster attacks her, so I want a panel that's just almost just speed lines. So the monster sort of just swiped at her and it swiped at her hand, which would have been sort of just not outstretched, but it would have just been in front of her, and the monster just like moved really fast. The monster is tendrils. Okay, so that's page 6. Page 7. Okay, so now Stella is registering what is happening because, you know, she's like, what? It hurts? She glances at her arm because it's bleeding. An insert of her arm, which is bleeding, and her registering that she is a close-up, but maybe her eyes again. Just registering that she might die, as in, you know, that she's in danger, like, so it's just shocked. Like the terror is setting in. So it's her eyes, and her next shot is basically gonna be, it's almost her POV, I guess. Maybe she could be in dead center and the monster is up really close to her. I clearly don't quite know how big this monster is going to be. I'm assuming it'll probably more like this actually. It's probably going to change in size depending on Stella's state of mind. Sorry, this is a very bad drawing, but basically what I want is her and the monster is coming at her. Even maybe like its mouth opening to her or something. Like she is, you know, about to die, and she is in too much of a shocked state to sort of even move. Page 8. I'm gonna try and make some of the panels a bit more, you know how previously it was all very squares? I'm going to play around with the shapes to be a bit more diagonal and stuff here, because I think dramatic stuff is happening, so I feel like that would sort of, you know, keep I don't know, I think it's a bit more of a subliminal thing that if the boxes aren't straight squares, it almost depicts the action. I would like to add Stella, like her legs, and they're like shaking. She'll probably have like monologue through here because she is so scared. She'll be like, my legs won't move because I'm in too much shock. A shocked face being like, is this the end? I think initially when I was talking about the story, I wanted to make her run away more, but I'm sort of changing my mind about that she's sort of just freaked out and is standing on the spot. Not too sure if I'm entirely happy with that decision to change that yet, but I'll go with this for now. So everything I do at storyboard stage here is potentially going to change, but that's why we keep it like, you know, this super rough. Okay, so Stella is in danger. Her head is about to be bitten off or something, and then we will have the hero character stepping in. I want to add a small panel here with an insert of of blonde hair, like sweeping in to the scene with a grand down shot. An up shot would probably be a better hero shot, but I don't know, this image I sort of had in my head for a while of like Stella entering the scene here. Not Stella, sorry, Harper entering the scene. I want to sort of make it like, so the monster is down here and Stella is here. And Harper, maybe just, this angle is quite hard. I want to make it, so I want to make it that Harper just either jumped off a building to attack this monster. These dramatic poses are quite hard to draw, but this is rough, so it's okay. She has her sword. It's quite sad when there is an image in my head that I want to do, but I don't. Sometimes having the drawing skills to sort of be able to present your idea, I don't know, it's just hard when you can't draw the thing that you're imagining in your head. Okay, so something like this. It's still looking very rough, but this is the basic idea. Next, page 9. So it'll be just the moment after where Harper just stabbed this monster. And she stabbed the monster with her sword. The monster probably, it doesn't really have a solid shape, so I imagine it sort of disperses as it gets stabbed, but then it just comes back, so Harper can't really hurt this monster at the moment. In this bottom panel, I want to sort of do like a similar shot to the first one. Harper is going to jump between, like that, between her and the monster. And in this middle shot, I don't know, I sort of want to do Harper. And another thing I need to practice drawing properly is hats. It's almost that we see a glimpse of Harper's eye. It's almost like this shot is Stella making eye contact with Harper. Something like this for page 9. And the last page for today, page 10, would be something like, so Harper, sorry, my drawings are so rough. When I really rough out like more actiony poses, I draw in this really scribbly way. This is how I draw like when I'm working at work as well. And I sometimes feel really bad for my supervisors who has to decipher what on earth is going on. I try to draw more simply like this, so it looks easier to, it's easier to understand, but just when it comes to more difficult poses, I find drawing that gesturally just a lot more easier. Okay, so that is Harper, who comes in front of Stella. Probably 2 panels of one of Stella being like, yeah, that girl from yesterday. She's holding her wounded hand. and one image of Harper. I'm not too sure she would react to Stella at this moment because she's probably just concentrating on the monster in front of her. That was page 10. Okay, I hope you enjoyed seeing that process and it wasn't too messy or confusing. I thought actually walking you through the process while I'm drawing would be more interesting than me just talking over the footage once I've already done it. But let me know what you think of this format. And so sorry for the longer video because that took a lot longer than what I thought it would. I'll try and do another big batch of storyboarding on my next video. There's still going to be quite a few of these storyboarding videos, so I'll try and work on it and make it more interesting video by video. So please stay tuned for that. And now, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!